Besides the draft, we got social media in an uproar with this 100 men versus gorilla. I don't even need 100. Just 10 from the trenches and we good.
Just 10, huh?
Just 10. That's all.
Just 10 for what?
For the gorilla, that's all we need.
You just gonna feed the gorilla 10 people, or you gonna?
Nah, we finna get a gorilla the belt.
I tell you what, that gorilla gonna need 10 seconds to dispose of all 10 of y'all.
Gorilla ain't never seen no hood dudes from Chicago ever in his life.
Okay.
That's right, Q. That's right, Q. Just clone me 10 times, stick my head in a mountain that Tony Montana, yayo, and we good.
Hey, RIP to Q and the 9 other real ones.
Tiff, welcome back. Out for your sabbatical.
Back like I never left, because what sabbatical?
That's correct.
What sabbatical?
Well, I mean, you've been, I don't want to say MIA, but you've just been chilling. You've been enjoying the
smirks on both of your faces right now. Because what we're not going to do this whole episode is hear y'all mouth. Okay, so let me just set the tone right now, because I can see smirks on both of your faces, as if you can't wait to get your little jokes off that you apparently been holding on your chest.
We just happy to have our third amigo back.
Oh, just say you miss me and go.
We miss you. You like the Draymond of the show.
No, a pause. Absolutely not. No, I'm not.
What's wrong with Draymond? Warriors don't win without Draymond.
It ain't nothing wrong with him, but no, that's not my skill set. No. So I'm the enforcer?
So what you like?
You bring the energy.
So you like the Dennis Rodman?
No. I like the Steph. I like the
You the Steph?
Yeah. Come on now.
Who am I then? Which one am I?
You probably like the Draymond.
Who is paid?
I'm Steve Kerr. I'm gonna just answer that for you right now.
Steve Kerr.
That's right. Greatest, the real greatest shooter, and the architect of this whole thing.
Like the Kaminga or the.
Did you know you
could be the Jimmy Buckets? You could be the Jimmy Buckets.
We can't give these current Warriors that ring praise. We got to go to the dynasty. I don't know if they're gonna make it out of the West.
There's no need to not know they're not gonna make it out of the
Everybody's celebrating LeBron's downfall. Steph going right with him. It's a young man's game. It's a young man's league right now.
And they may make it past Houston, but they're not making it.
Oh, they got Houston. Houston too young. Young. They're not making it out. Minnesota might do them dirty too. And on fire right now. And is channeling his inner Jordan.
Oh, here we go. Please, not this again.
Yeah, I don't want to hear this.
Please.
If y'all ever want to know what would happen if Jordan and LeBron met, Anna's showing you.
Please, not this again. We'll see.
Showing us.
I'm just glad I don't have to hear about the Lakers anymore for the rest of the season, because it was enough. It was already enough, and then when they got Luka, it's like, all right, now they really gonna try to make this way past enough. Right. So we're glad that we'll holler at them.
King Von, King Kong, King Braun, Little Braun, Lakers gone.
Well,
long gone.
Good day.
As far as the Bears, I don't know who will win in 100 men versus one gorilla, but 100 Bears got everybody faded.
Easy. One bear. A Caleb Bear. That's all we need. Caleb Bear.
The Bears.
Claws gonna have to be a little sharper than they been. That's all I know.
If I was a silverback gorilla and I saw Caleb Williams, I'm running the other way. Take me back to the jungle.
Okay.
That's right. I know, Tiff, you agree?
I do not, but okay. You're full of shit.
You definitely the Draymond of the podcast.
You need to keep definitely that Draymond up. Keep that queued up. And I remember that conversation. Both of you were full of shit. I remember that vividly. So keep that clip queued up. We're going to need, matter of fact, send that to me so I can put it in where it's needed.
Tiff averages 4 personal fouls and 1 technical every podcast. Definitely Draymond.
You all were full of a lot of shit in that conversation. I recall.
That's not true. I think we were telling the truth.
No.
Our truth from way we
say lies. Okay, our truth, which is lies.
Wow, that's crazy. Nasty work.
Telling that Trump truth. That's what you all were telling.
Did you get your Caleb Williams jersey yet?
I got a DJ Moore jersey. There will be no Caleb jerseys. I've said that.
Wow. So when we get in the Super Bowl this year, you still don't get a Caleb jersey.
I will not. No, thank you.
That is crazy work.
No, thank you.
We all agree, though, they are going to the Super Bowl, though.
Definitely.
Hey, that's fine. And I'll be rocking that DJ Moore jersey.
All right, good. Speaking of Trump talk, the draft did start off with some Trump talk. Thanks a lot, Clay Matthews. We are going to definitely use you as a meat shield when we run up against this gorilla. Definitely one of the ones first 20 that's getting taken out for that nasty opening to the ceremonies this past Thursday of the NFL draft.
I'm glad I missed it, man. I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds like.
Oh wow, Clay, he showed his ass. He was very disrespectful.
Well, I mean, I don't think he was disrespectful. I think he did what we all assumed. He said what we all assumed.
He looked like he was high off cocaine and drunk. A little bit of meth in the system too.
Probably.
Criminal. Who was highest on your board right then and there after the ninth pick had been called? Q, me and you was on the show, so I think
we had the same opinion.
Jalen Walker, right? We wanted Bears, Jalen Walker. Tiff, what about you? Where were you sitting at that point?
My approach this year, every other year in the offseason, I've been very tuned in to every move we made. I've been locked in, and it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out in a great season. So this year, I decided I was going to be more chill. I'm going to take the moves we make flow. I'm going to trust in Ben Johnson, who we all, were excited to get. And I'm believing that since I'm not as tuned in and not scrutinizing every pick, that the results are going to be different this year, that we're actually going to do something. So I'm taking a little bit of a less critical approach this year and let things, get together and assimilate, and it better translate to some wins. So
now I got one question, because a lot of Bears fans, their big issue was they wanted a certain position targeted. Was there a certain position you wanted the Bears to target at 10 that you felt like they didn't address in free agency?
I think we still need somebody opposite of Montez, but
that's why I wanted Jalen Walker, and I thought he was the best player on the board.
I didn't want us to be so locked in that we were reaching either. But then when we drafted who we did, I'm like, well, shit, we might as well have reached for defense, because all that I've seen, I know we'll get to the guy in a minute, so I don't want to, overstep that conversation. But all that I've seen about him are good things. But I'm like, damn, man, why are we so in love with tight ends, bro? I just don't know why the Bears are so in love with drafting tight ends. But anyway, I would have preferred that we went the defensive route, but we didn't. So here we go. And last year, I was all for us going offense. You all remember that. I was.
You wanted Caleb Anderson?
I was okay with it. This year I'm like, all right, bro. Now, hey, Caleb. Now they done gave you 2 more offensive weapons with the first. I knew that was coming, brother.
I knew that was coming.
2 more offensive picks with the first 2 picks, brother. It's no excuses after this year. 0. That movie.
All right. So their approach this year is just take it how it comes and just let the like a lazy river. You're just gonna let the current take
flowing along with it. I saw the vision of where Ben Johnson. It seems like he's trying to pick players that are similar to players that he had on the Lions. Similar to Amon-Ra St. Brown, similar to Sam Laporta. I get the vision. I see where he's going. If it works out that way, then they are a genius. We'll just have to see.
All right. So the lazy river approach, me and Q was on the we want someone opposite Montez Sweat, Jalen Walker. We broke down his film. We were amazed by what we saw. And I think I was even more amazed by who the Bears selected. Colston Loveland was not on anyone's radar.
No, out of left field.
Prior to the
I
draft.
had actually seen his name mentioned for us drafting him once or twice on a couple ESPN boards.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did. But that was it.
But yeah, I know he did a top 30 visit, but it was like we just signed Cole Kmet to a huge contract. So that's the thing that threw it off. It's like, and at number 10, Colson Loveland, you know, it seemed like it was a little bit of a reach. He wasn't really discussed as a top 10 pick. Although I did hear good things about him too. And I did hear, you know, I saw a couple of mock drafts that had us getting him, but I was like, no, not a 10.
And it's crazy because I saw several drafts actually several draft boards leading up saying we were gonna pick a tight end. I'm like, man, ain't no way.
But it was Ty Warren. That was the guy that was, you know, linked to the Bears. It was Ty Warren.
I was like, nah, ain't no way. Little did I know there was way. It was just the other tight end.
I wasn't concerned with a tight end. If anybody had mentioned Warren or Loveland to the Bears, I missed that because all I heard was Jonty all offseason. All the rumors are going away, and especially the 48 hours prior to the draft was all Jonty.
That was it until the last couple of weeks when they thought he was going to go a little bit higher.
Like, you remember that?
Which he did.
For the draft, all the talk was the Bears are trading up. The rumors are Bears are trading up to get Jonty. That's their guy. That's who they want. And based on Ben Johnson's history with DeAndre Swift, a running back seemed like a surety at some point in this draft. Maybe why not get the number one guy?
Yeah. Well, they there was speculation, kind of confirmed rumors the Bears did inquire about trading up to the Jaguars pick, but you know, Ryan Poles is real evasive, but it sounds like he said it was just too expensive. Now, I am glad that Ryan did not let somebody stick him up this year. Thank God he's learned his lesson. Stop caving into people's demands because he done gave away some serious draft capital for some stuff that has not worked out. You know, trading up for Velus Jones, trading for Chase Claypool, only getting a second for Roquan Smith. So I'm glad that didn't come to fruition because who knows what the Jaguars were asking from Poles. I mean, they moved up 3 spots and gave next year's first round pick. I wouldn't have been happy if Poles traded the 10 and next year's first and an additional pick for Ashton Jonty. Ben Johnson probably didn't allow him to do that.
We know Poles. Poles would probably did some crazy shit like that. We'd be like, you know what? Let me not put that on Poles. That was Ryan Pace. Pace would have definitely did something like that. But I'm glad he did. I agree with you, Q. If we couldn't get the guy that we wanted, the price was too steep. Understand that understand your limit. I'm fine with that. And I'm going to be fine with who they eventually chose, Colston Loveland. I'm not a big NCAA. I'm not an NCAA fan whatsoever. I watch a big game here and there. I don't necessarily follow any teams, but I have a lot of guys who are Michigan fans are in my circle. They tell me he is a dog. He is going to be he's going to be a dude for the Bears. Have you all heard the same things?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I was initially you saw the line. I was disappointed. I don't necessarily have a team for college football. If anybody knows me, I follow players. I'm an NFL fan, but I'm a big draft fanatic. So I do follow players, and I look at the top prospects, and I start watching their games here and there. I don't have a favorite team in college football. Colston Loveland, I figured he was a guy that would last to the 20s. But as disappointed I was at draft night when I heard things like Sean Payton had acquired about trading up about him, Sean McVay, Jim Harbaugh. Those are 3 coaches that I highly respect. 3 guys that know offensive football, especially McVay and Payton. If they were very intrigued by him and they were trying to call up and move up to around 13, 14 to get him, then I'm going to let Ben Johnson and Ron Poles cook on this one. I will reserve judgment. I'll let the guy, I'll let his play do his talk on the field. So Yeah, I was initially disappointed, but I'm gonna let it rock. I'm gonna see where Coastal Loveland does though.
Yeah, same. All the draft grades and analysis
They
have
love him.
been very, very
So
glowing on the pick. I mean,
yeah,
I have heard zero people say. I heard one little caveat like, "Oh, I thought they may go defense," but then that's it. There was zero, consternation about it whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it was nothing but glowing and great. And oh, here's another weapon for Caleb, opposite of Cole Kmet, yada yada yada. So I'm letting it go, letting it flow. I'm gonna trust that Ben Johnson knows he wants exactly the team to look, and he's molding it in that direction. And they saw something in him. Again, I heard the things that Q heard about other quality coaches inquiring about him as well, or really, really liking him. So I'm gonna let him cook, and I'm gonna see what they come up with.
You got no other choice, right?
I mean, yeah, facts.
So when Ben Johnson got hired, one thing that stuck with me is that he said he's not bringing a particular offense in for Caleb and
yeah,
the rest of the people. He is tearing it down to the studs. He's making an offense straight from ground up, based on what best suits the players that he has.
I
But
like that.
after this draft, of course, that's perfect, because
Yeah,
that's the way you will want your head coach, offensive coordinator to be. You want them to be forward thinking. Use the tools you have to their best ability, right? But after this draft, it's looking like he is building.
It's very much Detroit Lions.
Detroit South, yeah.
It's giving Lion-esque. We will not lie.
It does give Lion vibes. He didn't get his running backs of choice, so and Caleb is a lot different than Goff. And last year around this time, Tiff said something that stuck with me about Lamar Jackson. She said, teams are so stuck in making players fit their system instead of building a system around the players. So I definitely like Ben Johnson's thought process. But yeah, he did say, I saw a quote where he said, he told Colston Loveland, "You remind me of Sam Laporta." So there is still some Lion affinity there. So we're gonna see.
And I've heard the same about the receiver that he's giving
Luther Burden, a little bit of Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, So I mean, he's got the mold that he likes. He's got a preference that he likes. And now
He definitely does.
Gonna fit the rest around the team, I guess.
Well, I mean, if DJ Moore and Luther Burden, if they get together like Voltron, they would be Amon-Ra St. Brown, because DJ's got the toughness. He's willing to catch passes across the middle like Amon-Ra, and you see, we did the clip, we did the film, Q. You see the gadget ability out of Luther that Amon-Ra also has. Amon-Ra can line up anywhere and then be a weapon at any point or any part of the field. So putting those two together, I wish they can get together like the Megazord, but having them on the field together, I can't
like a Megatron.
Ooh.
That's enough Detroit Lions for today. And shout out to Detroit Lions fans, especially the ones that you all apparently said was upset when I said they was a little too excited to not have accomplished anything. That aged very well, but go ahead.
So you got to spend the block on that for 5 months later?
I don't know. I didn't see any upset comments, but you all said they were upset. So I just
they be getting on your top.
My comment aged very well. So that's all
they be getting on your top in TikTok though. I can't lie. They be on you.
One thing this show does is age well.
I know they were sick. Yeah,
I mean, it's Detroit. Detroit's not used.
I mean, they were. Some of them were speaking like they were very used to it. That was my only point. But
that's the crazy thing. I would say, act like you've been there before, Detroit, but they haven't really been.
But they haven't. So they
haven't been anywhere.
I know.
And then it's like, I wanted to be happy for Detroit. I wanted to be happy for them
too. That was the crazy part.
And then they start talking crazy. Like, y'all are our main ops. Our main ops are Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Detroit.
I don't even really look at them like ops. They like little bro. I don't even really look at them like ops. For real. Like it's like, the Lions.
That's
now
true.
We done stole their coach. Damn.
We took a lot from
Window
Detroit this
closed.
offseason.
We definitely did.
We took their coach. We took a bunch of their coaches. We jacked their whole swag. And what Tiff just said, we closing their window too. Bear down.
Yeah, the window's done. Sorry.
The Bears.
Missed your opportunity, Lions.
Sorry, Eminem.
Cash doll. Sorry.
Maybe next century.
Let's go back to what you was that other position group you mentioned, Q, the running backs. So we went into this draft needing a running back. Well, possibly more than likely needing a running back in a very running back heavy draft and got none of them. I remember during our live, you was most upset about that.
Yeah.
Why was that?
I felt like the big key to Ben Johnson's offense and success in Detroit was the running game. I haven't been very impressed with Roschon Johnson. Just hasn't panned out. And I think, and I did like DeAndre Swift signing, and there are some good things with him, but he's not a feature back. You know, he's a change of pace back. So I really wanted the Bears to get one of these talented running backs. And this was a very good running back class. I love Jonty, Quinshawn Junkins, Travion Henderson, Omarion Hampton. I really like those four, and I felt like they could be big helps for the quarterback and kind of centerpieces for the offense. So, and DeAndre Swift has had a spotty injury history. I just feel like we're in a position where it can get really treacherous and really scary in that running back room. Roschon had a couple concussions. DeAndre, he lasted all year last year, but you got to remember when he was in Detroit, that guy was never available. So the depth is kind of shaky. I just don't want to be in a position where another position group, lets us down and exposes us, because last year the offensive line, not only was it shaky with the starters, but then we got down to third and fourth. I mean, there were guys out there that shouldn't have been out there. Kyron Amagechi, man, that start against Minnesota was awful. I mean, so just don't want to be in a situation where we got guys unprepared, where we're getting down in the depth out there and hindering us.
Well, sidebar, Kyron Amagaji, he's the number 2 on the depth chart. So we'll get back to that at some
right
point.
Now he might be number 1 because Braxton isn't going to be ready to go till about June.
Tiff.
And Poe said Kyron is competing for a starting job. That's what Poe said. There's going to be competition at left tackle.
I might have to go out there and
get the back together. You might have to go play left tackle.
I might have.
Can we borrow one of them gorillas off to play left tackle?
Hey, we need it. A couple of them.
Well, they ain't gonna want to do nothing for us after we kicked off Planet of the Apes Part 4.
Yeah, y'all been talking really
we just minding our business. What is y'all problem?
Tiff, did you have any issues with the Bears not being able to get a running back? Or did you feel like the Bears should have maybe tried a little harder to get one of those running backs?
I get Q's point. I wasn't super pressed about the running back thing. I mean, you all know how I feel about running backs. They're great. You need them. But that's not a position that you can't fill. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I wasn't that pressed about it. If we would have gotten Jonty, okay, cool. There weren't others that I was super excited about in the draft. So I don't really feel pressed about that either way. I think that, like I said, that's a position where you can kind of dabble, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just fill in a little bit more.
By committee. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody's running back by committee. It don't matter who it is now. So we'll see how they work it out.
Junkins ended up being
I like
the last.
Herbert, though, so I wish we wouldn't have let him go, but
Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
In this particular draft, there was a Mount Rushmore. Right? There was a clear top 4. You had Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State, Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina, and obviously Ashton Jonty out of West Virginia.
No, he was Boise
the
State.
Blue School, yeah.
Boise State. Okay. Yeah, Ashton Genty out of Boise State. After Omarion and Jonty was gone in the first round, top of the second round, the Bears had the seventh pick in the second round.
Yeah. And Travion went right before their 39th pick. And that's what led them to trading out of 41. I heard that Junkins and Travion would have fit real well because he's kind of Jahmyr Gibbs like and really good in pass protection. So I heard that kind of hurt the body a little bit. But I think the Bears should have been prepared that the Patriots and Browns especially were going to go after running backs ahead of them.
So Tiff said she didn't care that it didn't move up, but it just seemed like, well, as the days have passed since the draft, we've heard that the Bears did target running backs, but other teams wouldn't press. Other teams were like, "Nah, we trying to get this running back game situated on our own self. We can't help you out."
They got sniped about 4 times.
Yeah, if you pay attention to how the draft fell, you see when the Bears traded back. Every time they traded back, it was a running back that just got drafted right in front of them.
Scatterbull, the guy from Virginia, they got sniped about 4 times.
All right, we've been glowing about this draft, but let's talk about now maybe the not so glowing parts coming back on the other side of this.
Okay. No, don't put the hat back on. Keep it off. He put that thing on back quick. Sheesh.
So we're gonna do this on air? That's what we're gonna do on air.
No, we gonna say what you said.
Was there a point of this draft where you were like, "Fuck, Pose did it again"? I know I was thinking about it. Was it the same round as he did last year, Q?
Are you referring to the 4th round when he took the linebacker who was not listed in anybody's consensus top 300 or invited to the combine?
So before we get to, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But before we start, I want to use this part as a disclaimer. We saw players get drafted higher than we thought, and we saw players, namely Deion's son, get drafted a lot lower than what we thought. I think that tells us all that we need to stop putting so much stock into rankings and mocks because it's just content. People just throwing stuff out there. But the guy Ryan Poles did select in the 4th round. I don't know. I'm not gonna put it all on Ryan Poles because if we all think that Ben Johnson drafted his guys in the first 2 rounds, there's no reason to believe that Ben Johnson didn't also want this guy. But in any case,
Dennis Allen.
Oh, yeah, or Dennis Allen. In the 4th round, they took this guy's name, Ryan Hippolyte. I don't know much about him, but only thing I know about him is what you just said, Q, is that he was the reach of the draft. Tiff, you had already said you was already dismayed with what you were getting on this from the ticker on this draft. Did you damage your phone at any point at this part of the draft?
No, I didn't. Because I mean, being a Bears fan, you develop a skin. You kind of get used to these type of things. They're not that shocking. But I'm going with the flow. I'm going very optimistic. I'm going that this is the pick that they scouted really well, that nobody else really had the pulse on. And I'm not big. I know Q's big on the draft and people get excited. I'm not big on the draft. Like, I don't get, like, people get excited every single year. 9 times out of 10, the people you think, not 9 times out of 10, that's too much. But a lot of the times, the people you think gonna be the stars, not. And the people that aren't on the radar are the ones who become the stars. So I don't get too high or too low about the draft in general. I'm just hoping and praying that this is a diamond in the rough. This is somebody that they saw that nobody else really had their eye on. I think those draft wars and things can be good, but they can also be bad. They can have these scouts feeling that this is the way we should go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna think this was a clear view. We saw something that other people didn't see and we snatched it up. So we'll see.
What if they see Q?
He ran a fast 40.
So he's fast. Okay.
He's fast. So I looked at a little bit of his tape. There were some highlights. I saw one thing I know that stood out about him was that he is fast. He blitzes well. When he sees it and he shoots the guy well, he gets in the backfield well. Seems like a raw product though. I see why he wasn't really highly regarded as a prospect. Dennis Allen likes certain types of players, just like Ben Johnson does. So he likes the speedy linebacker types. Maybe he fits real well into the Allen defense. So I'm gonna reserve judgment too. But man, that pick came out of nowhere. And I don't want to be too picky. It's the 4th round. You in pick number 90s, but I just feel like it was a guy that you could get later in the draft.
I'm gonna be picky about.
I mean, he a step up from 4th round last year, right? The guy we were talking about earlier.
He drafted a punter in the 4th round last year.
Oh, it was punter. When did we get? No, when did we get Buddy? We were talking about earlier.
Oh,
3rd round. He was the 3rd round last year.
So that's even.
Yeah, he was a little high too, because he was injured and came from an Ivy League school. No disrespect to Ivy League, but that's not a school where you normally get NFL prospects. There's not a bunch of Ivy League guys running around as top level, high level. Can anybody name a really good Ivy League player in the NFL right now off the top of their heads? Anybody here?
Only one I can think is the Ivy League is Ryan Fitzpatrick. He went to Harvard. That's the only one I can think of. Ivy League.
You said something there. You said it's a 4th round draft pick, so it's kind of throwing darts at the board at that point. No, it's not.
Yeah, not quite. Not quite throwing darts. I just said I wouldn't be too picky and judge, because I mean I'd rather, if you're going to take a shot on an athlete that maybe didn't have the production in college, and I'd rather you do it in the 5th, 6th round. I'm not going to complain too much of 4th round. Just going to do it in the 3rd round again where you took Velas. That was crazy. And Velas not even on the team. You traded up to get him, so.
And we ain't won since he ain't been on the team, so.
That's not true.
Well, better stop putting.
We beat Green Bay. Green Bay. The curse was lifted.
That last game.
The curse was lifted.
That's right.
No more curse.
How could you forget that we are undefeated against the Green Bay Packers in 2025?
We are.
In the 4th round, don't mess with me in the 4th round. You can still get talent. You can still get starters in the 4th round. Even in the 5th round. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting starters out of the 5th round. So drafting a project like Amagaji in the 3rd round last season, drafting a punter in the 4th round last year, and then drafting this guy who was, you ain't said it yet, but I know he's a project because, as you said, Q, he looks raw. I don't like that. That is my downside of this draft, is that you can clearly see the fingerprints of Ryan Poles just doing some shit, just doing whatever. He's like Stack from Stenners. He goes. You gave him a clear objective to go handle some business, and then you come back with a white woman. Like, no one told you to do that, bro.
Yeah, I thought the guy Ozzie, the left tackle in the 2nd round, that came out of nowhere too. I don't know if that was a reach. I've heard some good things about him, but I don't know. He's a huge human. Like Harry likes him, big man. Harry.
Yikes.
Shout out to the Sox podcast. Harry likes him big. As Harry said, he's a size queen.
Yikes.
That's what Harry said. But yeah, the other 2nd round pick I like. We got to shout out Harry. We got to shout out JJ3. They put in good work. Both made appearances on the draft. They're not keeping us updated on the Sox. I don't know what's going on. We need our Harry and JJ3. If you're listening, we need to talk Sox. We need to talk Sox, buddy. I did like Shamar Turner. I feel like there's some upside with that guy. Pretty good interior pass rusher, 6 sacks 2 seasons ago. But yeah, Ryan did something crazy in the 4th round again.
Yeah, I like the Turner pick too. So.
But isn't Shamar Turner injured though? Going to come into possibly
That is
training
another
camp.
poll thing that I was going to get to that.
He
So
loves an injured player.
he loves an injured player because Colson isn't going to be ready. The number 10 pick, he's not going to be ready until it's estimated a couple days in a training camp is when he's supposed to be physically cleared for all activity. So you got a rookie that's not going to be in OTAs and mini camp. He's not going to be ready to go. Shamar Turner had a issue with his foot. He had a rod inserted around Senior Bowl, so we're hoping he could be in camp. So yeah, Ron Pose again. He's given us another guy starting off injured. That is the negative of the draft.
So if to put those two negatives that we just talked about, the reaches and drafting of injured players, and we juxtapose them against the glowing parts that we talked earlier in the show, can we get a quick grade on this draft?
I thought it was a B because I feel like even though there were some things I didn't like about the draft, I really see the Ben Johnson vision. The Colson Loveland pick, even though I wasn't personally happy about it, like I said, that he gets glowing grades, and you look at his tape. He's a guy that's 6'6". He has long arms, good hands, good speed. Just off measurables alone, that's a guy that's going to command some respect and attention on the field, especially working those seam routes as a tight end. The Luther Burden pick, I absolutely love the Luther Burden pick. I asked for Luther Burden months ago before the draft. I think he's the perfect fit. He's exactly what the Bears need. So the Luther Burden pick alone is boosting this draft to B status for me. And then even though Shamar Turner's healing, I like him. I thought the running back they got in the 7th round, there's some good attributes to him. I think he can come in and contribute, even though he's a late round pick. Kind of gives you a little bit of a David Montgomery vibe. Doesn't have the speed, but bounces off tackles, a little bit shifty, can make people miss. So yeah, overall, I'm going with a B for this draft.
You agree with that grade, Tiff?
Yeah, I'd probably go B minus. To me, this just may be my opinion. This draft class was a little underwhelming to me in general. So not particularly pertaining to the Bears, but just the whole draft class in general. So I think we had some highlights or some mid-lights and, a few like, okay, we'll see how this works out. But overall, certainly the whole offseason I'm pretty happy about. In the draft, I'll probably give it a B minus for the Bears.
You guys are nicer than me. I'm gonna just go C, and I'm gonna just say because those negatives are a little bit heavy for me. I probably would have gave it a B, just like you all, if it wasn't a second straight year of a reach in a round that I thought that you can still get good talent in. I agree, Tiff, that that this draft class isn't stock full of big names like that. So 4th round, maybe not that you can find a bona fide star at that point in time in the draft, other than Shador. But drafting a guy who's an obvious project, somebody that you're going to have to put in resources just to make the draft pick worth of anything. This is shades of Velas all over again, shades of Amagaju, shades of, I forgot what the punter's name is, but him too. We've seen that enough from this front office, taking guys in the mid rounds and then you're going to be stuck with them because you're trying to force them into the game to force this decision to make sense for everybody else when you shouldn't have just did it in the first place. That's my first thing. The second thing is the injured guys. Colston, I will look past that. But then you drafted the other guy, Shamar. Even though if those two guys, even if those injuries aren't dire, I mean not dire, but devastating, that's fine. But 2 in the same draft, come on, bro. You need rookies to be in your offseason program. You need rookies to with a new head coach.
Amagaji was hurt last year when we drafted him.
Yeah, he missed the whole off season. And then when he got in, he looked like he didn't have an off season.
He looked like he didn't know how to play football.
That too.
Could be a starting left tackle.
He looked like he went Ivy League.
And if he's our starting left tackle, I'm bringing the grade on this draft down more, because at that point we should have move heaven and earth to get Will Campbell. If that's the case.
You know what? I'm gonna go. Well, I would have loved Kelvin Banks to fall to us at 10. I might go B- because there is something that irritated me about the draft. And it wasn't just what the Bears did, it's what the league continues to do. I watched the Ravens, Chiefs, and Eagles once again get crazy value capitalizing off other teams' mistakes. The Ravens pick up Mike Green in the second round. Now, he's a guy that had off-field issues. That's why he slipped that far. And then in the first round, they picked up the best safety in the draft, because safety is a position that's not a premium position. It's a position that's devalued like running back. But the league let the Ravens get exactly what they needed. Their one weakness last year happened to be safety. And they get Malachi Starks, a dog at Georgia, a versatile dog at Georgia. And then they get maybe possibly the best edge rusher aside from Abdul Carter. Now, the Chiefs sitting at the end of the first round again. Last year, they get Xavier Worthy, very good speed receiver, vertical threat. This year, they get Josh Simmons, who might have been the best tackle in the draft had he not been recovering from injury. And the Eagles pick up the best linebacker at the end of the first round. And maybe the next back safety, and Andrew can't pronounce it, Makubu. I always butcher his name, but he was a guy that was on the Bears' top 30 visit. A guy I would have loved to see line up next to Jaquan Brisker. So that might push me back to a B-. And shame on the entire NFL, because this is why the Ravens, Chiefs, and Eagles continue to be first class in the league every year.
Mm-hmm. The Ravens continue to make the best out of their draft position. Where was Lamar Jackson drafted?
End of the first round. They capitalized off everybody else's mistake that year. 5 quarterbacks. I think he was the fifth quarter. There were guys who was in that draft class at quarterback. That was Baker Mayfield and what was the guy that said he was going to make everybody pay for drafting them 10? Went to the Cardinals and was, what is his name? Came from UC, Josh Rosen. Yeah, Josh Rosen. Yeah, they capitalize off everybody's mistakes then. They do this every year.
Yeah, I mean, DaCosta, shout out to DaCosta and the Ravens organization. When you aren't praying about kneeling, you run a pretty good ship over there.
Interesting scenario that popped up late in the draft. I was on some Bears boards, checking the temperature of what people thought about the draft picks. In the 5th round, if Shedeur continued to slide, would you all have wanted the Bears to take him?
No.
I mean, it'd be a high-level backup who could possibly be traded for better draft capital along the way. You know how these quarterbacks age. They're the one position that you can draft and they have one good game and can yield you very good draft capital.
Yeah. Well, we have Ryan Poles as our general manager. So he's not a good poker player, because Justin Fields had a bunch of good games and we couldn't get shit for him.
Yeah. I say no, because let's just let Caleb, relax. They
would that have been too much on Caleb if you put Shedeur in the 5th round? Would that have brought a circus here?
It doesn't put pressure on him. It puts scrutiny. It brings those stories like, oh, well, why did it's unnecessary. It's unneeded. Like, this is his 2nd year. He already got to deal with whatever he got to deal with. That, because Shedeur, wherever he goes, he's gonna bring that attention. He's gonna bring that, you know what I'm saying? And now it becomes, well, why would the Bears go that route? They don't need a quarterback, or do like, nah, we don't need that. I was sad for Shedeur and how he got done, but we didn't need that.
Need? No. What I would like to see the
It
Bears
wouldn't have been
do,
a bonus to me. It wouldn't have been an upside.
definitely is no. The only upside is that the Bears are once again back in the national headlights, like we were last offseason. We now, you remember, we drafted Caleb Williams. You got Matt Eberflus was the betting favorite for Coach of the Year. The Bears is on Hard Knocks. There's a whole bunch of it was a whole bunch of Bear.
Yeah, we need to chill. We need to chill down off season. We don't need no media until we start winning.
I agree. The Bears need to start proving it. Because they do a
Off-season
lot of
champ, third year in a row.
Yeah.
3 straight years of off-season champions.
The bad thing about being an off-season champion, especially as a three-peat off-season champion, is that you only get a pizza party for that. You don't get any real banners. We've had enough pizza. Let's get some banners.
No more book it. Let's go with the banners.
You know what? That's what's wrong with America. We don't do book it anymore.
It is. Now you can't read, and we got people voting that can't read. Lord help us.
Fake news.
Trump truth.
Y'all doing okay with these tariffs?
Yeah, I was trying to import some toner on Amazon. The tariff, and they said, yeah, the tariff is going to cost this much. Now I'm like, whoa.
He's mad about that. Oh, he laid into Jeff Bezos for that.
Oh yeah, because that's political. But they said the tariffs weren't going to raise prices. So why are you mad about Amazon showing it if they're not going to raise prices?
He's going to make everybody pay for treating America very bad for the last years. Our allies are treated
means us.
very
Actually,
bad.
Means Americans is who everybody is, though. That's who's going to actually pay.
I'm mad about that because I really wanted that toner. I wanted my skin to be glowing like Tiff's. But
okay, here we go. Right. Let's get started. That's the lead-in we wanted to do. Okay, let's get started. Hey,
the lead-in for what,
baby? Yes, we have big shiny foreheads. That's okay. We love it. We sure do. No, that's where you all wanted to go.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, that's it.
I didn't do anything.
No. Let's go.
What's this victim mentality you came on the show with?
You really gassing.
Okay.
Oh, he's like this in a Trump show. The victim.
You took your head off real fast. Take your head off real fast, Q.
That is no.
Oh, okay.
I gotta agree with Pay. I'm hearing a lot of victim mentality right now.
Okay, got you. Okay, no worries. Hey, I'm always ready. Go ahead. Continue. You're full of shit. That needs every show that needs to be queued up. I need the button though.
I don't think what did Kanye said. No one man should have all that power. I can't give you that clip.
Kanye is not having the greatest of weeks.
Yeah. That's the one thing Kanye.
It's rough.
Okay, that's the one thing Kanye said that I can agree with lately.
Man, I don't want to quote Kanye anymore.
I'm not quoting. I don't want to say anything about. Every time I hear Kanye's name, I'm like, oh God,
I cringe. Please stop, Kanye.
Listen, and I don't even know what he said, but I know it's some crap.
You didn't hear what he said recently?
You don't want to know.
No, I'm sure I don't. No.
I'll let you find that out on your own, or not find out.
Because I won't.
It is the wildest Kanye moment of wild Kanye moments to ever emerge.
That's saying a lot. That's especially means I don't want to know. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It was an overnight tweet too. It woke up to this like, what the fuck, bro?
It was so wild. I thought like somebody hacked him or made this up, but he doubled down on it. We got to turn his TV off. Shout out Kendrick Lamar. We got to turn Kanye TV off.
Kanye, he apparently, well, at least one thing about Kanye, he got out the closet.
I mean, Kanye, did he really get out the closet? I mean, that's
okay. I don't want to hear.
That's not the way to come out the closet.
I don't want to hear no more.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. Closet. Yeah,
good. Enough.
It's a lot, you know.
He got to get back in that closet. Stay in there. Stay in the matter of fact, Kanye, stay in the closet. Don't come out of there ever again until you're ready to conduct yourself in a normal fashion. Until you're ready to be a regular, productive member of society.
Which will be never. which would be never.
I blame this on Trump.
Hey, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. Well, you know what? While we started the show talking about the Gorillas, Clay Matthews can be a meat shield. Aaron Rodgers can be a meat shield. I'm throwing them tariffs out there too. We're gonna slow that gorilla down one way or another.
He ain't gonna have no money left after them tariffs. You know what? I'm done. I'm broke. I don't even want to fight you all anymore. You got it.
You know what? Gorillas are imported, right? So
Can you bring them here to fight?
So that's gonna be
tariff.
No, that's pandas. Never mind. I'm about to say they from China too. That's a 250% tariff.
A tariff on a fight. That's crazy.
Shout out to me since we on Kanye. Since we on Kanye vibe.
You don't ever want to be on Kanye vibe. No,
I do not.
I don't want anything to do with the Kanye vibe ever again.
I don't know what.
As far as I'm concerned, Kanye stopped existing after college dropout.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
We'll give him not that far. We'll give him.
Who?
We'll give him graduation.
You not going to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
No.
I think that's when he started getting weird.
I'm gonna stop at graduation.
I mean, he wasn't weird yet. I mean, he was beefing with a.
He was eccentric with 50.
Yeah, he was eccentric. Yes.
Yeah, we stopping at graduation over here.
Come on.
That's what I'm stopping to.
Hard stop.
Hard stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is probably his best album. I mean, I love Graduation, but
I didn't
Power.
I got to go back and listen to that album.
I mean, there's some clips on there. We're not saying we can
clips. The whole album go. The whole album, no skips.
You are a biased Kanye. You are a Kanye. You are a Kanye truther.
Reformed Kanye stan. So
yeah, you're a Kanye truther. So I don't know.
You are a Kanye truther. You definitely are a Kanye truther. You just got off that boat in the last 6 months. If we be here,
you were forced off that boat.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because Kanye might put his mouth on you if you stay on that boat. So you had to get off that boat.
All right, man, that's it.
Right, log out. You're full of shit. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say 3 things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.